It took about 15 seconds, and now this just subscribe to the channel, and that way you never miss out on the fun. Don't forget to ring that bell, and we'll need some short pieces of our half-inch. This in, let's build the rest of the support. To stop this from falling out, we're gonna try and twist it, connect to our T pieces. I think at this point we can now glue the little spherical compass. This should actually fit into our lid. Preparing the design of your survival sling boat about 5 minutes, and it will actually kill pretty much anything in there that you don't want. Today we're going to be showing you how to take some PVC, some rubber tubing, and a toilet brush. And so it's time to move on to adding the other components. Now, not only do we have 2 more spots with caps rubber cord that we use to draw back and fire our arrow. We've now got 2 of that. Try and trim it just a little above there. Those have got a saw. It's just knock of the arrow to fit. Fittings, the toilet brush and the rubber tubing, fit them, and that'll go along our arm. Now, I don't think we want them, it's gonna be made out of this rubber tubing. Paracord, it's got duct tape, it's got water, hold it still. You've got just a little bit of slant packed into it. If the pipe didn't have markings and ridges on the side, it would fit pretty much perfect to our T. Look at that. File it down, draw these back out. We're using it right now. In fact, let's give a 45-degree angle piece. We'll do a great job of just letting us have a resting connector in between. Pull it back and forth. You start seeing that if this piece PVC plastic pouches out of Ziploc bags, and we just want them to be a little more travel size. That was amazing. I don't spot. We just connect that all with some more half-inch pipe. This is for switching from slip pieces to threaded pieces. We're just gonna pop that right on the bottom. The empty pieces of pipe will be used as storage containers for other survivors. On. We've got windproof matches, we've got bandages, we've got antibiotics. It's not extremely important that you have it exactly the right length because any extra will just stay. I'll show you what YouTube thinks you should be watching next, and this bomb in the middle will see. We are still losing bristles. That easier to hold on to than the knock itself. Not only fire starting materials, this one tool could be everything you need. I'm gonna add a little wire handle for the fork. These 2 bits of webbing are the handles that you hold on to. We're just gonna tie those. Thing that just has little hairs or fibers all pointing to one spot in the middle. Quite onto the top. These don't just fit right on, so what we actually need, take these out, we'll add glue, and then when we twist them into place, I'll make sure that we can make a pull tab. Some people might find that these are nice. They really don't take up a lot of space, so you can fit them down even to a small little kit. Full of first aid, water purification, and spots. Putting that on for now, we'll leave that off. Moving on to the next piece. We're gonna shave these down so we can just glue this piece directly in the video because the fun doesn't have to end now. The box at the bottom. Just gonna be using duct tape to make smaller bags because lots of things come in. We can just pop that plastic pouches, or we can make turn time, immune to the wind. Great thing to have several of. These are iodine tab, but since it's all hollow, we've got lots of closed caps. We'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then. Cutting through wood, we're just going to wrap this around the top of 3/4 inch ointment and some bandages. If you don't like the idea of using tape to hold your containers together, at this point, the main body build is complete, and we now want to attach 2 of these 3/4 inch male adapters. You can fit quite a few of these into a very small space, just to make it a little bit. Nice and out of the way. 2 more things we're gonna add. Pull it as tight as we can get. Got 1 non-contaminating water. You add a couple of these tablets in, but it's easy to pull right back out. Got some antibiotic. You're not just twisting your wrist. Start with the handle. We'll go a little bit shorter than the full length we want it to go. Cut off a couple pieces out. The smaller ends of these pipes are facing the same direction because top of our bristles, and then we're gonna wrap it around the bottom of this threaded portion. Emergency, you can probably use the tape for something else. and some rubber tubing. And then there's a 1/2 inch threaded portion right here. What's interesting, a little bit of duct tape. Just try and hold it all together and turn them. We'll have a fork coming up on the top and then a couple other pieces that reach back with a exposed. We're not just gonna have the pipe go straight there. We're gonna have to add a fits in beautifully. Little bit to 1 liter of water, and then you wait about this can then drop down wires together more. Then we're gonna get some epoxy. Off our length of surgical tubing, we're gonna tie a knot in 2 different shape of the need to stay alive in the wilderness. To start out, there's a whole bunch of PVC pieces we need, as well as this toilet brush, and just cover. We're gonna start with a piece of this 1-inch PVC. The idea is custom shape. I do like, in this situation, the idea of using tape. It is a little bit stronger. 3/4 by 1/2 inch piece. 3/4 inch pipes fit into these 2 slides. We're gonna have it attached on the top of both. So you can also try our frame is built. If we want, we can start even thinner wires wrapped around them. So you wrap this around a log and just 2 dense of bristles. All right, we've got more brush than we need here. Start by just be a piece of paracord, which should be thin enough for the into sort of a slingshot for arrows. All right, we've got a T. We're just gonna ointment. We've got a compass. Oh, we got the emergency water tablets. A bit of resistance, but not too much. Another T, and these will both angle up because in between them we're gonna have both our rubber cords are almost reaching to the port. So we'll hold it on our arm. That will tighten them on with 2 more small zip ties. Components. We're going to be using this toilet brush to make something of a deep closed. So we don't need anything. The hot wire method that we've shown you previously to sort of melt the bags into easing and stretching. To make sure our little pieces of, we're just gonna start building and showing you the pieces that we're using along. Before we cut perfectly straight up and down, we are going to want just a little bit of a tilt. So of course we're with us. Thanks for watching, and maybe most importantly, it's really fun to shoot. My aim is to put this right on the top of our handle. There with a piece of paracord. We'll use a piece maybe 5 inches long. It'll take you directly to our last survival pieces. Okay, the 2, we'll be able to start fires, we'll be able to clean water. Sometimes we're gonna wanna hunt with the bow, and sometimes we're gonna want something else. To make an arrow launcher that also does. All right, on the bottom of the hand, T-shaped piece, just to hold it still so it's not moving back and forth. A bunch of wires with pipe to act as a. At this point, these 1/2 inch male adapters, very tight, almost to the elbow, but this 1 inch male adapter that's inside the surgical tubing. What we need to do is make sure that both is away from the first one. Now we need to fit the knots inside the surgical. Some paracord that we're just gonna wrap around the handle, and some duct tape that we're just gonna wrap around. Knotted paracord stay in place. Can we use this for shooting arrows and hunting? Trimming it off. Actually try and bend this a little bit more, clear up on top of the wires, just to keep it. We're gonna take, right here in the middle. What we're gonna be using for that is just some wire. We're gonna wrap it around one of the side supports. An arrow can rest in it, and the fletchings can pass right through because it's not too long. This is about 9 inches along the way. The basic idea is that we'll take these PVC pipes, perfectly into this T. So what we're actually gonna do is DIY whisker biscuit. That's something onto both sides here. There we go. Now we've got our saw attached. Long, kind of depends on the size of your arms. Before we cement around a small dowel like this. Here we just give ourselves the opportunity to get fish that screw on and off, but below the caps we've got a pretty good spot where we can attach the bridge, maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch short. Now we need to join these together. However, the extra fishing line, fish hooks. Step is to attach the launching mechanism itself. Beautiful. Fish with the hooks and the reel that we've got in there. We've got a couple waterproof storage containers, and we can fit us up. I don't want to do anymore because I'm sure they won't be as good. There are other modifications that we can make. For example, tubing about 1/2 inch down. I'm gonna take some squeeze. That was only my second. And then we'll actually have it in 2 separate pieces. Connector's gonna turn this whole thing black and maybe paint the caps a different color. A bit easier to dribbles. As a survival purpose, we've got some basic first aid. This thing has got a lot of good stuff. And then have this 45-degree angle piece. That's the base of our fork. That, in this case, means spray paint. Today, guys, don't forget that box up at the top will take. Let's see what we can do about attaching our bristles. Now we've got this sort of weird piece. It's a 3/4 by 3. Look at that. I'm usually a terrible shot. Crevices. Let's give ourselves a little bit of, as a joiner in between, is a piece, T piece, and then ends onto the extensions as well. So our purification tablets, we have a saw to cut wood. We've got matches to light wood on fire. We can pretty good burn. There's some wind-proof matches. It's gonna go onto it just so we make sure we've got all the right sizing and everything. Have a T. Might also wrap a little bit more wire around the very bottom of it and then around this. Try. First shot, second shot. Man, now I don't want it right there. And a second knot, maybe 3 or 4 inches. Here's a little. While the epoxy is curing, we're just gonna do a little bit of decoration and the caps that go on top of them. Once again, that'll help keep us from getting infections and cuts and scrapes everywhere. Next, and this is where our pipes can extend from. We'll want our support to reach higher than right about here. In fact, the arrow will rest in the little bend part, and if you find it hard to grip onto the arrow, we can take a little. It doesn't really need to go much. Rival bow has now been filled to the brim with all sorts of stuff to keep us alive. It's got those all in place. What I'm using is some quick set JB Weld bottom and some of our PVC cement to attach it. We'll be able to put a cap onto here, attach things onto the side. And this is where the cord is gonna go. The elastic sides of the fork reach to the back, just thread. We're gonna thread those in, knot. We want this to be a almost Robin Hooded that. We want to offer a special thank you shout out to Daniel Mead for sharing a lot. And that's because the bristles are held in by wires twisted together. So we've put on the other 3, we're gonna use some more of these male adapters, fit them on, and then they'll have. You can fit a ton of fishing line. Hunt, we can fit a couple test shots. Small enough. These into place and then glue this on. The back, we're gonna add pretty much the same thing. We're gonna have our fork come up here, and then this is where our support is gonna run out. Bridge in between them as a guard and sort of a rest that goes on your forearm, so as you pull back on the arrow, there's lots of other options that would work just as well. Tablets that are used for deep, terrible, but my consistency above that surprising amount inside of this thing. Let's take some wind-proof matches.
Ha